shot there. Nicely done. Gets the pin.
Oh, was that beautiful? Onside kick, and it's recovered by Hastings.
And he's rung up for strike 3.
Double alley. Touchdown Raiders.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this broadcast of HCTV Sports here at the Hastings Middle School, bringing you some boys swimming action between the Hastings Raiders and Two Rivers Warriors. I'm Theodore Tollefson here on play-by-play, and Julie Urban joining me once again to some swimming coverage. So, Julie, how are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. It's fun to be, I said it last week, but it's really fun to be in some place really warm.
Oh, it's much colder than it was when we were here last week outside,
It's
all the more appreciative to be inside covering some swimming tonight.
It's a little tropical.
Yes.
Yeah, we have Two Rivers and Hastings Raiders tonight. I think we are actually really in for a great swim meet. As I watched the swimmers start and the divers were practicing, I think we're going to see some fantastic diving.
Oh, definitely.
And I think we're going to have some great races in the pool, which is really fun. And tonight is senior night, so at some point in the evening we'll be recognizing the 4 seniors from Hastings. And we have a nice crowd here. And those of you joining us online, thanks for joining us.
Yes, and of course, for those who are watching on YouTube, if we are pronouncing any names wrong, please let us know in the comments section, and our sports director, Hunter Pinky, will let us know how to say the correct pronunciations.
Please do.
Yes.
So tonight we start out with the 200 medley relay. Every meet has the same order of events, and it's always the 200 medley relay is first. Medley relay meaning 4 swimmers. Each swimmer swims a 50 of one of each of the 4 swimming strokes. We have a full pool tonight for the 2. This is the varsity, 6 lanes of swimmers. It's kind of nice tonight. You can see the different color of caps. So Hastings is in lane 2, 4, and 6. And Two Rivers is in 1, 3, and 5.
Yep, and the first round of swimmers already in the pool for this 200-yard relay.
They start with the backstroke. Backstrokers start in the water. In lane 1 for Two Rivers, George Fredericks, Peter Reiswig, Jacob Teagan, and William Huntley. In lane 2 for Hastings, Obi Haveman, Oliver Gergen, Isaac Schulk, and Charlie Jensen. In lane 3 for Two Rivers, Harrison Berg, Carl Strohhofer, Nathan Frisch, and Jimmy Fredericks. In lane 4 for Hastings, Philip Jensen, Caleb Urban, Adam Dewar, and John Destros. In lane 5 for Two Rivers, Jackson Cook, Peter Maslow, Toby Cope, and Lucas Nadeau. And in lane 6 for Hastings, Nathan Barker, Samuel Green, Tyler Wood, and Raphael Gudrian. This is a fast race. Already we're on the second swimmer, Caleb Urban for Hastings coming into the wall first. We'll have the exchange there to Adam Dewar.
Yep, the Raiders in lane 4, just with a very extensive lead. And it'd be very shocking at this rate if they don't finish first, at least in that lane.
Right. And next we have Two Rivers and Hastings battling it out in lanes 3 and in lane 2. Those swimmers would be, let me see if I can get this right, Nathan Frisch and Isaac Schulk.
Yep. In lane 5, Toby Cope looks to be in 4th place.
Yeah. It's a tight race there for second. John Destros, a senior for Hastings, the last length of his swim, the last length of this relay for Hastings, who has a commanding lead.
And he will finish that one out. But it's a little tight still in 2 and 3, but it looks like
Charlie Jensen is definitely leading over Jimmy Fredericks, but he is certainly not giving up. None of them are.
No.
And in the water for Hastings in lane 6 is Raphael Gudrian, and for Two Rivers coming into the wall in lane 5 is Lucas Nadro.
And it looks like we'll have lane 1 finish out last with William Huntley just entering the water. Gudrian will be finishing his final lap here in about a couple seconds.
Relays are fun. It's an exciting way to begin a swim meet. Like everyone gets, you're working with your team. There's a lot of energy. It's a great way to start, get your adrenaline going and get, the first 50 in.
Yes.
Hastings won that in a 1:43.64. Pool record is a 1:38.44, so
5 seconds short there.
not too far off. It's hard to cut a lot of time in a 50 because it's a short race.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to move on to the 200-yard freestyle. We do have a junior varsity heat tonight. There'll be 2 swimmers from Two Rivers in lanes 3 and 5. We have George Fredericks and Maurice Johnson. I don't know if that's Johnson. No.
Josen.
Yes. I'm adding a letter in
It's a little
there.
easy to do that looking at it on our paper in the small print.
Thank you for not saying your old eyes couldn't read it.
No, it's small print for me
Small
too.
print.
I mean, my eyesight's not the best
We
for as
seem
young
to
as I am. So
have a little delay here. So 200-yard freestyle, 8 lengths of freestyle. Kind of a long sprint. That's how it is known in the swimming world.
mm-hmm.
It's obviously a lot longer than a 50.
Yeah, and I noticed with some of the Two Rivers competitors tonight, they don't have their grades listed. So I will guess these two here are middle schoolers, just
I'm thinking that too.
on their appearance. But yeah, so some of them are listed with Two Rivers, but others are not, and these are just 2 that don't have that case.
So again, this is George Fredericks in lane 3 and Maurice Josen in lane 5. They start really close together. They probably practice in the same lane
Yes.
and are used to how each other swims. Both of them have really nice long arms and a nice long stroke.
One of the things we usually do when we are broadcasting with our neighboring communities, Town Square Television will be picking up this feed as well, so we just want to thank them early on this broadcast before we forget for doing so.
It's a great partnership for small communities and parents and grandparents and friends. I talked to a gentleman over the weekend who told me his parents watch in Arizona, I think, and his brother in California, and I think that's a really great thing to be able to offer for high school sports.
Absolutely.
Not only during a pandemic, but just in general. It's
I
a
think
great thing.
Regardless of the pandemic, just the evolution of how we can present this media
Absolutely.
to families over the last decade even. Because even a decade ago, community TV stations were definitely more adapting to Facebook and other social
Absolutely.
media. And now it's just something we basically do. And, if we got those family members in other parts of the country or, heck, even in other parts of the world, it's easy for them to access.
So I think I lost count. I'm hoping these guys did not lose count. But I believe they might still have 150
Yeah,
left.
I think they do.
Yes.
They're just finishing up lap 3 out of 4, I'd say.
So it looks a little bit like Fredericks in lane 3 has a little bit of a lead over his teammate in lane 5. Josen. It's nice to see their teammates at the end of the pool cheering and supporting them. Maybe one of my favorite things about sporting events.
Camaraderie, definitely appreciated, no matter what sport you're playing.
As the Winter Olympics get set to start, I am always reminded about how important team is for these athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And as there won't be that many spectators and family members who are able to travel internationally and attend, teammates become family.
Absolutely.
And yes, in the end, Fredericks in lane 3 touched first in a time of 2:40.45. And we will move on to the varsity 200-yard freestyle. We have a full pool, 6 lanes. Again, if you're just joining us, lane 1 is at the top of your pool, or the top of the screen, and lane 6 is at the bottom of your screen. From Two Rivers, Warriors are in 1, 3, and 5, and Hastings Raiders are in 2, 4, and 6.
So yeah, now it's the varsity 200-yard freestyle.
The announcer, it's hard to hear. There is an in-house announcer who is very energetically announcing the Hastings Raiders, but we'll announce everyone from lane 1, Nathan Frisch, and in lane 2 from Hastings, Thomas Foss. In lane 3 from Two Rivers, George Altier. In lane 4 for Hastings is Tristan Herbst. In lane 5 for Two Rivers is Jimmy Fredericks, and in lane 6 for Hastings is Garrett Watterson.
And they're all in the pool.
This is a young 3 swimmers from Hastings, 7th grader, 8th grader, and a sophomore, 10th grade. They might be young, but I would not count them out till the race is over.
Yep,
Tristan and Thomas are strong swimmers, and so is Garrett. They've been swimming, and they do not have a lot of quit, which is great. It looks like George Altier in lane 3 for Two Rivers has a bit of a length.
Yep, are not too far behind them.
No, they are not. My guess is they will get pulled along as this race goes.
Herbst trying to catch up there with Altier.
And another great race in lane 6 and 5 between Garrett Watterson and Jimmy Fredericks. Up in lane 1, Nathan Frisch. Looks like he is in... Now, lanes 1 and lane 6 are really close, but they cannot see each other at all.
No. Opposite sides of the pool.
Opposite sides of the pool. You can see about 1, maybe 2 lengths, or lanes. They don't know how close it is. So George Altier in lane 3 for Two Rivers continues to dominate this event, followed by Tristan Herbst and Thomas Foss. George Altier just swam a 29 split. That's a nice split for a 200. He is going to finish. This is the 8th length. So he is finishing up his race.
So it looks like Altier, Herbst, and then Foss.
Yep.
Watterson getting
It's
very close
really
there.
Really close between Frisch and Watterson. I don't think either of them realize how close it is.
No.
Their teammates definitely do, though.
And for us, it looks like Watterson will be finishing first.
He might. I think he's going to touch him out. Yes.
He does. Well done.
Very close race. And Jimmy Fredericks in lane 5.
Finish it out here for this event.
That was a nice freestyle, a 155 for Altier, 158 for Tristan Herbst.
So next event is another junior varsity one, and then this one will be all Raiders.
A 200 IM, 200 individual medley. So just as we talked about the medley relay, this is obviously an individual event. So each swimmer swims the 4 different strokes. They start butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and free. So in lane 2, we have Sam Green, 7th grader from Hastings. In lane 4, Kenrick O'Donnell, 10th grader from Hastings. And in lane 6, Raphael Gudrian, 11th grader for Hastings. Butterfly first to 50 a fly.
Yep, all these boys just pretty much pacing it the same.
They are. They're going to hit the wall pretty similarly.
And of course, with this also being a junior varsity and all against teammates, it's, in a way, its own extensive practice.
Right. And these guys do practice against each other. But their competitive drive says they want to do their best today, whether it's other teammates or their own teammates. Kenrick hits the wall first. There are rules in swimming like every sport. And how you touch the wall and turn is one of those things. So you just saw that Kenrick made sure both hands hit that wall. He's going to come in here, the swimmers. Flip turn. The officials watch as they come to the wall and make sure if it's a one-hand or a two-hand touch. Obviously, they are doing backstroke. They're going to flip over. Third stroke is breaststroke.
Gudrian just flipping over to start his breaststroke.
I think Sam Green up in lane 2 really likes the breaststroke and has a really smooth
That he does.
breaststroke and is gaining on his teammate Kenrick in lane 4.
A little slower on his turn there, but no problem in that.
They're going to turn here at this 50 for freestyle. And get down and back as fast as they can.
Makes it a little easier that way.
Sam inching up a little bit on O'Donnell. But I believe Kenrick O'Donnell in lane 4 will win this JV heat of the 200 IM.
Yeah, it looks like he's approaching time, probably 2:50 or so. By the time he gets there.
That was a good estimate.
Yep, pretty close.
Raphael has one more 50 to do here in lane 6. Raphael Gudrian his home is the country of the Netherlands.
Correct.
And
yep.
he is here as an exchange student and joined the swim team. Has really enjoyed it, and they're enjoying having him, I am sure.
Of course.
It's a great way to get to know kids in high school pretty fast.
Yeah, definitely. We had during my senior year over at Burnsville, we had a exchange student over from Germany, and I still stay in touch with him from time to time. I was actually able to visit him before the pandemic for a study abroad trip through UW River Falls. So
we're going to move to the varsity 200 IM, same event. Varsity swimmers. We have 6 lanes full. Should be a fun race. For Two Rivers in lane 1 would be Toby Kopp.
Yep. Thanks, Scott.
I know. I can hear the announcer say it, and I'm going to repeat him. Taylor Schmaltz from Hastings in lane 2. Finn Gustafson. Two Rivers in lane 3. In lane 4 is Adam Dewar from Hastings. In lane 5, Jackson Cook for Two Rivers. And in lane 6, Oliver Gergen for Hastings. If you're watching the start, you can see swimmers, they move, they swing their arms, they pat their legs. Sometimes they slap themselves until they're very, very red. Some stand very still. It's how do you mentally prepare? How do you get your mind in the right spot?
Get the adrenaline
get your
pumping
wiggles
the right way.
Right. I suppose they don't really want to hear that. I think they get their wiggles out because that seems like I'm talking about a toddler, but that still applies. Here they are underway. Again, butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and free. I love an IM. I think it's really fun to watch, and the strategy of swimmers. Every IM swimmer has a stroke they love and a stroke that's not their favorite. And Adam Dewar loves butterfly, so I'd expect him in lane 4 to be ahead a little bit.
Just a little bit over Gustafson. Looks like him, Dewar, Gustafson, Schmaltz are all pretty much
they're
in the
very
same
close.
place.
And Gustafson, I think, likes the backstroke. They're going to come to the wall very close. Flips over.
Gets over a little bit longer.
He's efficient under the water in his underwaters.
Schmaltz not too far behind
And
either one of
Gergen
them.
is not far behind either in lane 6. This is a nice race. Toby Kopp is finishing his backstroke in lane 1. And as they flip for the breaststroke, Gustafson is pulling a little bit farther ahead. And Taylor Schmaltz in lane 2 is a little ahead of his teammate Adam Dewar in lane 5.
That one looks to be the difference maker.
Most IM races are determined by the breaststroke. It's either you love it or you hate it. Either it works for you or it's a struggle. I think Gustafson in lane 3 enjoys it. Has found the balance of glide, pull, breathe, glide, kick all together. And it continues to be really a tight race between Dewar and Schmaltz in 4 and 5. And in 6, Gergen is not far behind.
So it looks like Gustafson will finish out ahead of everyone else, but right behind him are probably going to be all 3 of the
Right,
Raiders.
I believe all 3 Raiders will be in great scoring positions. Cook in lane 5 and Kopp in lane 1 will finish up for the Warriors.
Bring up the rear there, and it looks like the finishing time for Gustafson was 2 minutes and 11 seconds.
2:11. Yes, it was, really close. A 2:18.30 and a 2:19.30. 2:24 for Gergen in lane 6. Everyone always wants to win, but I think for spectators, a close race is fun.
Definitely.
And we will move on to the shortest and fastest event of the evening. The 50-yard freestyle will have 1 heat of junior varsity and 1 of varsity.
And this junior varsity one is 5 Warrior swimmers. So they're just taking up almost the entire pool
All
on this
the
one.
lanes. For Two Rivers in lane 1, Peter Reswig. In lane 2, Parker Mason. In lane 3, Jacob Teagan. In lane 4, Jackson McKenzie. And in lane 5 is William Huntley. The 50 down and back as fast as your arms and legs can go. Starts are crucial, turns are crucial in every race, but in a 50, they can make or break it.
Mm-hmm.
Officials having them stand up again before they start them. Sometimes swimmers who swim the 50 look like their arms are a windmill.
They're all looking that way right now.
And that's how definitely Teagan in lane 3. And the rest of them are so close. Reiswig, Mason, McKenzie, and Huntley are quite close. 5 and 3 is going to be a close race.
It looks like they just all finish out at the same time, and Kenzie bringing up the rear there.
Nicely done. Winning time of 29:78. We'll move on to the varsity. 6 swimmers in the varsity heat.
And here we go at the 53. This is our varsity heat. For the Warriors in lane number 1, Daniel Clues.
In lane 1 for Two Rivers is Daniel Kloos. In lane 2, senior and captain Obi Haveman for Hastings. In lane 3, Carl Strohofer for Two Rivers. In lane 4, John Destros for the Hastings Raiders. In lane 5, Jack Dolliger.
Dolger, yep.
Two Rivers. And in lane 6 for Hastings is Garrett Watterson. As you're watching this race, if you're not really familiar with swimming or usually don't, the 50 is kind of like the 100-yard dash in track. It is a favorite to see how fast someone can go through the water. Some of these swimmers will take 1 breath on the way down, maybe 2 on the way back. It is as fast as they can go. And as efficiently, and taking a breath means that they have to be slightly slower. They're in. It'll be loud because their kicking is so intense as they swim a 50. Strohhofer in lane 3 is leading slightly over Destros in lane 4, followed by Dolliger.
Dolliger, they're all neck and neck right now. This is going to be a tight finish here.
Close finish. We won't know
it's
until
hard
we
to
see
say.
it.
Yeah, it looks like they all entered at the same time.
Nice. 24:43 by Jack Dolliger in lane 5. His teammate Carl Strohhofer second in lane 3, and John Destros third for Hastings. 24:43, 24:46, 24:64. That was really close. Everyone under 30 seconds. That was a fast heat. Way to go, gentlemen.
Fast. So yeah, that will bring it to a quick intermission for diving, and then we'll come right back once they start senior night, and they might be doing that right now, it looks like. But we'll send it to break real quick once and be back for senior night. So we're back, and here we're honoring the seniors tonight, and head coach Jerry Rupp is listing them off right now.
Introducing our seniors. He said there are 3. Maybe one is not here tonight. I thought we had 4 seniors. This is John Destros. On senior night, they kind of share a favorite memory and some of the plans potentially for next year.
Yep.
John, I believe I heard correctly, is hoping to study computer engineering, either University of Wisconsin or University of Minnesota.
Yep.
They each have a basket of goodies, a crate, I should say, to take to college or the next adventure. And I believe inside is a fleece blanket that has their name and Hastings Raiders. This is Obi Haveman. OB is planning on studying business administration at North Central University in Minneapolis next year. It is fun to see some of these seniors who many of us have watched swim since they were maybe 10 years old.
Yeah.
It's fun. This is Philip Jensen. Phil Jensen is going to attend St. Thomas University and is going to be on their swim team, which is really exciting. I had heard rumors about that, but when it's shared tonight, I know that it must be true.
Yes. So good luck to all of the seniors in their endeavors next year, and especially
Absolutely.
Philip and joining another swim team at the collegiate level in D1. So, and then we'll just head back to intermission, and we'll be right back once diving is ready to go. Stay And welcome back to this broadcast of HCTV Sports here at Hastings Middle School, bringing you some boys swim and dive action here between the Raiders and Two Rivers Warriors. So we're just getting ready for the setup of diving right now, and it looks like the officials are just running the works through for all the divers here this evening, and we'll have 8 total, it looks like.
I was just looking that it's a full, sometimes a JV diver might not do all 6 dives. It looks like our newer JV divers and our veteran varsity divers are all of them will be doing 6 dives. So 8 divers, 6 rounds of diving. Like I said, as we came on the broadcast earlier tonight, I think we're in for a treat for diving. I saw some really great dives, and it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
The diving order for each of the rounds is the same. So we will introduce them as they each start, but it is the same dive.
Max, Charlie from Hastings, and then Zach.
So we'll have 3 judges and then 1 official. You can see on the far side of the pool there are 4 chairs.
Charlie Cook, Thomas Voss, Max, Charlie Jensen, Zach.
The announcer is going over the order again, mostly for the divers themselves to get themselves in the right order.
Yep.
We have Andrew Villa.
It's Villa. We did
Villa?
get the correction
Nice.
from John Villa on YouTube comments, so thanks for that.
Okay, this next one, Shakti Gurung. If I have said that incorrectly and you'd like to, please let us know through the chat.
Yep.
Aiden Dolan, Charlie Cook. Those are the first 4 divers will be from Two Rivers. Thomas Voss for Hastings. Max Frisch for Two Rivers. Charlie Jensen for Hastings. And the 8th diver will be Zach Lau from Two Rivers.
So just 2 Hastings divers tonight and 6 from Two Rivers.
Thomas Voss is a 7th grader for Hastings. This is the second meet he is diving at. He kind of late in the season said, "Could I try diving?" Well, sure. His mom told me last week that he has been going off the diving board and swimming since he could walk.
Oh, nice.
So it's great that he's giving it a try officially as a sport. This is Andrew Villa.
Villa.
Villa. I'm sorry,
that's
I'm going
all
to... Villa.
We'll get the hang of it. We got 6 more rounds.
He is doing an inward dive in the tuck position.
Scores on that, 4-4 and 3.5.
Next is Shakti, dive 401C.
This is Shakti Gurung from Two Rivers. He is doing the same dive, an inward dive in the tuck position.
Scores on that, 4.5, 4, and 4.
This is Aiden Dolan is up next for Two Rivers. The same dive, inward dive in the tuck position. There are, I was trying to count them, 4 different kind of types of dives, defined by how they leave the board and enter the water. That was an inward. There is a back dive, forward dive, inward dive.
And scores on that,
Reverse.
2 5s and a 4.
This is Charlie Cook for Two Rivers. He is as well doing inward dive, but in the pike position. So tuck, pretty self-explanatory. Knees tucked up, pike. You look more like a V. There are dives in the straight position where you're trying to keep your body straight.
Scores on that one. We got a 5, 4, and 5.5.
Each dive is given a degree of difficulty. It has a number of factors that go into that. This first round, these are 1.4, 1.5s. This is Thomas Cook doing an inward dive in the tuck position. Not Thomas Cook, Thomas Voss, excuse me.
And the scores on that, we got 5.5 and 2 5s.
There is mathematical scoring that goes on kind of at the officials table that takes into consideration the degree of difficulty of the dive and the scores that are received by the judges. So scores can be weighted differently.
Yep. And now it's Max Frisch.
Another inward dive in the pike position.
And we got scores of 4.5, 5, and 5.5.
Up next is
Charlie Jensen from Hastings.
pike position, 1.5.
Inward dive, pike position.
And the scores on that, we got 2 6.5s and a 6.
This is Zach Lau. Two Rivers. He is doing an inward 1.5 somersault in the pike position. This degree of difficulty is 1.8. So everyone else in this round has been a 1.4 or a 1.5.
And the scores on that one, 7.5, 7, and a 6.
We haven't seen a 7 in a while. That's really fun. We will start round 2 of divers. Andrew Villa.
Got it right this time. Third time's a charm.
Two Rivers. He will do a back dive in the straight position.
Via the only one participating in exhibition here this evening for dive.
So you might wonder what judges are looking for as they are scoring a dive. It's how their body position as they leave the board during the dive. If it's straight off the board, to be honest, they can score more points if they're closer to the diving board, which of course makes us all gasp.
Mm-hmm.
That was Shakti Gurung, a forward dive in the tuck position.
He had a 3.5, 3, and a 4. He wasted no time getting into the pool on that
Right.
one.
This is Aiden Dolan, a warrior, an inward 1 somersault in the tuck position.
Scores on that, 4.5, 4.5, and 3.5.
Charlie Cook, Two Rivers, a inward 1 somersault in the tuck position.
And the scores on that, 5.5, 4, and 4.5.
Thomas Voss, Hastings Raiders. He is doing a inward 1.5 somersault in the tuck position. This is the first dive we've seen with a degree of difficulty in the 2s, a 2.2.
And scores on that, 3.5, 3, and 3.
Max from Two Rivers is doing the same dive, an inward 1.5 somersault in the tuck position. Nicely done.
And scores 6, 5.5, and 5.5.
Charlie Jensen from Hastings is next. His dive is the same, the inward 1.5 somersault in the tuck position.
Tuck position, 2.2.
And scores on that, a 5, 4, and 4.
Up next, Zach.
Last diver of round 2 is Zach Lau. He will do a back dive 1.5 somersault pike position.
Wow.
That was a beautiful dive.
You got a score of 8, 6.5, and 7.
Leading off round 3 and 6 is Andrew.
Round 3. Wow. Andrew Villa, 2 rivers, back 1 somersault in the tuck position.
Scores on that are 3.5, 4, and 3.5.
Shakti Gurung will be doing a forward 1.5 somersault in the tuck position. Got all the way around.
Yeah. So we had a 2.5, 3, and a 3.5.
Aiden Dolan from 2 rivers, a forward 1.5 somersault in the tuck position.
Scores on that, 2 3s and a 3.5.
Charlie Cook is next for 2 rivers. He'll be doing a forward dive, 2 somersaults in the tuck position.
Scores on that, 2 3.5s, and final 3.5 from the judge, so 3.5 all around.
Thomas Voss from Hastings will do a back dive, 1 somersault, straight position.
Thomas will be doing dive 202A. Back, 1 somersault, straight position, 1.0.
Scores on that one for Thomas, 5, 4.5, and a 4.5.
Max Frisch from 2 Rivers is next. He's doing a back somersault with 1.5 twists in the free position. This is a degree of difficulty is a 2.3, so one of the highest we've seen tonight. Again, that was a back, 1 somersault with 1.5 twists.
Quite an impressive dive there, and the scores on that one, 3.5, 3, and 2.5.
Charlie Jensen of the Raiders is next. He's doing a forward 1.5 somersaults in the pike position. Had some nice height on that dive and a nice entry.
And he has 2 6s and a 5 on that one.
Zach Lau, our 8th diver, will be doing a reverse 1.5 somersault in the tuck position.
Reverse 1.5 somersault, tuck position 2.1.
And the scores on that one, 6.5, 6, and another 6.
Nicely done. We will begin round 4 of diving. Andrew Villa from Two Rivers. Forward dive in the tuck position.
And scores on that for Villa, 4, 4, and 3.5.
4. Up next is Shakti, 302C. Reverse 1 somersault.
Shakti Gurung. Reverse 1 somersault in the tuck position. Two Rivers diver.
Shakti seems to be one of the quickest divers into
He
the
doesn't
pool.
spend much time on the board and is very quick in the air.
Yes. So he had 2 3s and a 2.5 on that one.
Aiden Dolan from Two Rivers is next. He's doing a reverse dive in the tuck position.
Scores on that are 2 4s and a 3.5.
Charlie Cook from Two Rivers is our 4th diver. He's doing a reverse 1 somersault in the tuck position.
And scores on that one, 5.5, 5.5, and 5.
Thomas Foss for Hastings Raiders is next. He is doing a back 1 somersault with 1 twist in the free position.
And scores on that one for Thomas are a 4.5, 4, and 4.
Nice job, Thomas. We have Max Frisch next from Two Rivers with a back 1.5 somersault in the tuck position. You can see divers often get up on the board and adjust that circle with their feet. That is adjusting the fulcrum, if my physics is right,
Yes.
of the board that adjusts the bounciness and, the responsiveness of the board. Each diver has their set place based on the dive they're doing, their personal preferences. They need to have a little bounce to get up to be able to perform the twists and the somersaults in the air. And that was straight 4s, wasn't it?
Yep, straight 4s on that one.
This is Charlie Jensen, forward dive, 2 somersaults in the tuck position.
Wow.
God, those tucks spun him around.
2 4.5s and a 6 there.
Zach Lau will be our 8th diver in round 4. If I am looking ahead, nope. I was going to say this is his most difficult dive, but it's not. It's a forward 2.5 somersaults in the pike position. Oh,
Wow. And he got
nicely done.
7 and 2 7.5s on that one.
Sometimes it is pretty obvious when a dive has gone well, and sometimes it's pretty obvious when a dive has not gone well.
Yes, and that was definitely a consensus
One that everyone went, oh. He had very little splash as he entered the water. He was very vertical. His feet followed his body straight in. And judges liked it. That was Andrew Villa. Forward, 1 somersault in the tuck position, starting out round 5.
And he had freeze all around.
Shakti Gurung from Two Rivers is doing a back dive in the tuck position. Degree of difficulty is a 1.5.
Very splashy on that one. Some scores all around are 2, 2.5, and 2.5.
I think the judge's feet might have gotten a little damp on that one.
Definitely looked like that.
This is Aiden Dolan from Two Rivers. Back dive in the tuck position.
Scores on that one, 4.5 across the board.
Charlie Cook from Two Rivers is next. He's doing the same dive, a back dive in the tuck position.
And scores, that one is another 4.5 across the board.
Thomas Voss from Hastings is up next. He will be doing a forward 1.5 somersault in the tuck position. If you've been watching for a bit tonight, you might have figured out that you have to do a 1.5 or a 2.5. You have to do something and a half somersaults to land head first, to dive into the water. Nicely done, 1.5 all the way around.
And he has 2 5s and a 4.
Max Frisch from Two Rivers is up next. He will do a reverse 1.5 somersault in the tuck position.
Reverse 1.5 somersault, tuck position, 2.1.
Ooh, Max had great height on that one, and that probably knocked the wind out of him. But
Yeah.
he came up smiling, and I give him credit for giving it a try.
Yeah.
That's a tough dive. Unfortunately, the judges are conferring right now. He might not actually get any credit for that dive because he.
Yeah.
Well, no, it actually
He got a 1.5 and he's
1.5.
celebrating it.
If you don't complete the dive, that was questionable if he actually did complete 1.5 somersaults. But
Yes. And his
I
back's
am
looking a little red
just a little
from
red.
that.
His teammates are congratulating him on giving it his best.
Yeah. And he's just happy to have a score for nothing at all.
This is Charlie Jensen. He's doing a back dive, 1.5 somersaults, tuck position. And he's happy to have had his head go in first.
So 5, 5.5, and 4 on that one.
We'll finish up round 5 with Zach Lau from Two Rivers. He will be doing a forward 1.5 somersaults with 2 twists in the free position. This is another 2.6 degree of difficulty.
What the? That was impressive.
Wowzers.
An 8, 7, and 7.
Well deserved. Well deserved. 2 complete twists and 1.5 somersaults. Completely straight. Nicely done. And we will go to our final round for the night, our final 8 dives. This is Andrew Villa from Two Rivers with a back dive with a half twist in the straight position. If any of you out there listening know what the difference between straight and free position in diving is, let us know.
And Villa got 4 across the board, which I believe is his highest tonight.
I
so
believe it
good
is
for
as
him on that
well.
one. And again, he's done exhibitional evening, so it's not official scoring. Definitely looks like he's a 6th or 7th grader, so just getting his feet wet, I guess.
Shakti Gurung from Two Rivers is a back dive, 1.5 twists in the straight position.
The scores on that one, 4.5, 3, and 3.5.
Aiden Dolan, for his final dive, will do a forward dive with a half twist straight position.
Scores on that one, 3, 2, and 2.5.
Charlie Cook, his final dive will be a back 1 somersault with a half twist in the free position.
Scores on that one, 4.5, 4.5, and 5.
Thomas Foss, for Hastings, his final dive is a forward 2 somersaults tuck position. I think this is his highest degree of difficulty tonight, a 2.2.
It looks to
Actually, he
had the
did
second
a
one.
2.2, yep. Completed 2 rotations.
Hard splash on that one, but very impressive dive from Thomas. 3 across the board.
Max regained his composure from a great try earlier. And his last dive is a forward 2.5 somersaults in the tuck position. The degree of difficulty was a 2.4.
He scored 2 3.5s and a 4 on that one.
Charlie Jensen's final dive for tonight will be a back 1.5 somersaults with a half twist in the free position.
And the scores coming in on that one, 4, 4, and 5.
Completed rotation in the twist. The final dive for tonight is Zach Lau, Two Rivers. The highest degree of difficulty we've seen tonight, which is he will do an inward 2 somersault tuck position, a 2.8 degree of difficulty.
Wow.
And done quite beautifully. Waiting for his scores.
6, 6.5, and 6.5.
As promised, diving was very exciting.
It definitely was, especially Zach Lau there. So with that, we're going to go into another break, but stay tuned for another sponsorship video from HCTV.
Oh, hey there. Do you like HCTV?
That's one small step for Hastings and one giant leap for community television.
Do you want a custom video that promotes your business or organization and gives you the results you're looking for? Hastings Community TV is the nonprofit public access station that has served the great city of Hastings since 1983. All of our shows are available for free on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, and website at hastingstv.org. If you're a Comcast cable subscriber, you can see our content on channel 799 and 859. So who creates all this content anyway? A dedicated staff of around 8 people, like our technical director, Kurt Radke, who's behind the camera now. Hey, Kurt, why don't you come on over and say hello to the audience?
Wait, what?
Now, come on, get over here.
All right. Oh, that should be fine here.
There we go. By sponsoring HCTV, you'll be supporting shows like Aprons Optional, Around the Mic, Don't Flip the Table, Take a Hike Mike, sports, graduation, local news packages, city council, and the list goes on. We're always cooking up some great content at HCTV.
How did you do that?
I don't know. As an HCTV sponsor, our staff will work with your business or organization to create a custom video to promote your brand. You also have an option of getting a shout out in every sporting event we cover. And that's 3 points for your business. So support HCTV today! Go to hastingstv.org/sponsors for more information or to give a one-time donation.
And welcome back to this broadcast of HCTV Sports here at Hastings Middle School. Bringing some boys swimming action between the Raiders and Two Rivers Warriors. So we're going to be entering into event number 12 here. The boys 100-yard butterfly varsity relay.
They're just announcing diver scores, so I'll try to listen and share them with you. Andrew Villa was our exhibition diver, and Shakti Gurung was next for Two Rivers. Fifth place for varsity divers was Thomas Foss. Max Frisch was fourth. Third place from Two Rivers was Charlie Cook. I believe that means that second place from Hastings would be Charlie Jensen.
Yes, and it's no surprise that Zach Lau was finishing first.
Was going to finish first of the diving.
Impressive display he had here this evening.
We'll see if we can hear a total score for Zach. 292.80. Nice.
Wow.
Congratulations, Zach.
Just wow.
Crowd agrees. So yes, we're back to swimming events. We have 100-yard butterfly. We do not have a JV heat, so we'll start with varsity. 6 lanes full of swimmers. We have in lane 1, Thomas Nielsen from Two Rivers. In lane 2 for Hastings is Adam Dewar. In lane 3 for Two Rivers is Harrison Berg. In lane 4 for Hastings is Philip Jensen. In lane 5 will be Brandon Hansen from Two Rivers, and in lane 6 from Hastings is Isaac Schulk. So 100 yards of butterfly, 4 lengths of butterfly.
They're off.
Yeah, they are off. And as per usual, Philip Jensen spends the majority of the first length underwater. He hits the wall first. Adam Dewar, Harrison Berg.
Right behind him. Dewar and Berg are very, very close here.
So are Isaac Schulk and Brandon Hansen in lane 5. And up in lane 1, Thomas Nielsen.
Jensen had an extensive lead here, and Dewar not far behind him.
Philip is going for the pool record. We'll see how close he gets. He's going to hit in at...
Oh, just a little short, I think.
I think he's going to be... The pool record is a 52-57.
51-37.
Yes!
He did it.
Nicely done. 51-37 on senior night. Congratulations, Philip. He has been working at that one for a while.
That he will. Now he'll have a Hastings Raider take that title for the first time in a
long
time, probably.
The school record, he did not get. So
no, but the pool record is held by a Mounds View student.
That is awesome.
2013.
Yep. Colby Smith owns that record from Hastings in a 51:03 from 2012 as well. So new pool record, 51:37. Nicely done. It was a fast fly.
That it was.
Nicely done. I have a feeling the St. Thomas coaches are excited that they have a butterflyer coming in with a 51.
Oh, yes.
As the 100 butterflyers crawl out of the pool, we will turn our attention to the next event, which is the 100-yard freestyle. And we do have a JV heat, 6 swimmers in JV. 100-yard freestyle, 4 lengths of free. What some of us know as the front crawl. In lane 1, we have Jackson McKenzie from Two Rivers. In lane 2, Sam Green from Hastings. In lane 3, Peter Reswig from Two Rivers. In lane 4, Kenrick O'Donnell from Hastings. In lane 5, Parker Mason from Two Rivers. And in lane 6, Raphael Gudrian from Hastings. And they are just beginning the 100-yard free. Kenrick O'Donnell in lane 4 for Hastings. Looks like he's in the lead, followed by Sam Green and Raphael Gudrian. Then we have the 3 swimmers from Two Rivers, Jackson McKenzie, Peter Reswig, and Parker Mason. Kenrick hits the wall first at the 50, followed by Sam. Well, Raphael in lane 6 is a little bit ahead of Sam in lane 2. And we have Reswig in lane 3, Mason in lane 5, and McKenzie, all from Two Rivers. McKenzie up in lane 1.
Gudrian second to make his turn here. Reswig and Mason are, catching up on Green there a little bit.
O'Donnell will hit first. Then Gudrian. Sam Green in lane 2. Reswig and, that's quite a race. Reswig and Mason.
Right there. Looks like Reswig will get there first.
Touches the wall first, and Jackson McKenzie is finishing in lane 1. As they crawl out, we'll begin introductions for the varsity 100-yard freestyle. In lane 1, Daniel Kloos from Two Rivers. In lane 2, Tyler Wood from Hastings. In lane 3, Peter Maslow from Two Rivers. And John Destros from Hastings is in lane 4. Jimmy Fredericks in lane 5 for Two Rivers. And Taylor Schmaltz from Hastings in lane 6.
It sounded like Gergen said this is Destros, one of his last, if not his very last in the pool. At least individually.
Right. Last race as a senior, individual race as a senior in this pool.
Yes.
Had to think about that for a minute. I do see his family here. I'm sure they're very proud of him and glad to be here with him.
And it looks like they're reconfiguring some times from the last
Timers
race.
there seemed to be some trouble with timing, which there wouldn't be a swim meet if there wasn't trouble with timing.
Yes, that's true.
If you're new to swimming, you might wonder how they figure out timing. Is it really just a stopwatch held by a person? And that is one. That is the third way of getting a time. So there are touch pads that are down in the water at the end of the lane that connect to a timing system behind the swim blocks, the starting blocks. So as the swimmers touch that pad, it records a time. It records the splits in a longer race so swimmers know what they swim their split in. Then the volunteers behind the blocks, one has a stopwatch that they start as they see the strobe light on the starting. And then there's a plunger, we call it, that is another way that volunteer at the end of the pool, as they watch the swimmer come in and touch the pad, they hit the plunger. So there's 3 ways of getting a time. And as you can imagine, water and electricity don't always work together, so sometimes timing systems get slowed down or something doesn't work, and sometimes a swimmer doesn't really touch the pad hard enough, or their elbow hits it at the top as they come in on backstroke, or a number of different things can go on. So it looks like the officials are conferring with coaches and making sure that they have accurate times for swimmers.
It looks like the judges are getting this fixed up. So
right. Hopefully we'll be ready to go as the swimmers are bouncing and shaking and keeping themselves psyched up for the 100-yard freestyle, which is 4 lengths of free as fast as they can. It is definitely a sprint, obviously twice as long as the 50, but still a sprint.
Oh, look at the delay.
What is the next event that HCTV Sports is covering for Hastings?
Glad you brought that up. We're going to be broadcasting on Saturday afternoon, actually, boys basketball game over at the high school, 3 p.m.
Who are they playing? Do you know?
Duluth East.
Duluth
so we will be
East.
bringing in a crowd, I'm sure, from the North Shore.
A non-conference, non-section team, even.
Rip. Yep.
That's kind of fun.
Different part of the state.
Throw in a different team.
Yeah, I know the girls' soccer team early in their season went up to Duluth for a couple games. So a few sports will be playing them this season, and as we get a shot there of Philip Jensen after he just cools off from his record-setting swim.
100-yard butterfly.
It's 51:37, correct?
51:37 was what was up on the board.
And it looks like they're finally ready to get this one underway.
Officials, we are grateful for them. They work hard and are allowed swim meets. They do a great job of keeping the swim meet moving and fair.
And they're in. So definitely a sprint here for everyone.
It looks like Destros in lane 3 has the senior adrenaline for him. And Schmaltz in lane 6, followed by Fredericks. Tight race up in lanes 1, 2, and 3 between Kloos, Wood, and Maslow. Destros continuing to lead.
Very significant lead for him right now.
Pulling ahead of Fredericks in lane 5, and it's still pretty tight in lanes 1, 2. 1 and 2 are tight. 3's a little bit behind.
Destros just hustling towards the end, getting
first
in his final race
as a senior. Congratulations, and a great race. Come on.
Right there in lanes 1 and 2, very
Looks
close,
like
neck and neck.
Kloos is going to touch out Tyler in lane 1. Well, I might.
Wood and Kloos, pretty much the same.
I said it.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Tyler Wood with the long arms just touches him out in lane 2.
That he does.
That was really close. Congratulations. A 54:39 for John Destros. And we will move on to the longest event of the evening, the 500-yard freestyle. We do have a JV heat. It will be two river swimmers, and then we'll have the varsity. Swimming for Two Rivers JV 500 is Maurice Yosen, Lucas Nadeau, and George Fredericks. That is in lane 1, 3, and 5. As they get started, I will tell you the 500 is 20 lengths. That's 10 laps of the pool, and it's long enough that each swimmer has a counter. So on the far end, you see a teammate with some white cards that shows the number 1. So as it shows obviously the odd 1, 3, 5 as they
get down to that end of the pool.
down to that end of the pool.
As the even numbers are, of course, where they begin.
And in the middle of the pool, Nadal is off to a nice start, pulling away from his teammates a little bit. Yosin and Fredericks. Two down and 18 to go.
Yep. And we got both JV and varsity for this, so it's going to be a little bit of time here for these next two events.
I know that he's not listening, so I can say this, but my brother swam the 500 when he was in high school, and I'm 6 years younger than him. Mm-hmm. And in my head, I honestly thought the 500 took him 30 minutes. I thought it was the longest race, and I'm really sorry. I know it was about 5 minutes, probably sub 5. I can't remember.
Yeah, just being younger and that
felt
age,
like it lasted
feels
a
so
half
much longer.
hour.
Yep. And of course, you're rooting for your brother, but then you're still like,
I'm like, come
on.
Could you just kick a little harder?
He's got to pace himself. And it's all these boys are doing right now, since they're. Looks like Nadeau is just getting to lap number 5, I should say.
Length number 5.
And his two teammates not too far behind him there.
His split is a 37. It's a nice split for a 500. 500 swimmers most of them have an amazing ability that their split time is incredibly close. 50 after 50 after 50. They're kind of machines that they just kind of click them off at the same rate every time. This is a hard way to swim a 500 with the space in between them in lanes. 500 swimmers often end up swimming kind of by themselves. The race gets spread out. Racers are spread out. But these guys particularly maybe can see that their teammate is a lane over, but...
Yep.
Nadeau in lane 3 has put some distance between himself and his other teammates as he is going to end up lapping them, meaning that he will become, past them because he's just that much faster.
He just hit the halfway mark.
He is a junior, it says here. I'm not sure the age of
the other two.
Yosin
we don't have,
or Fredericks. We don't have their grades.
Yep, a little inconsistent with that for Two Rivers grades this evening with our score sheets.
Just over halfway at 11 lengths. I feel like sometimes when I do commentary, I end up sharing the same thing, but
that's all right.
It's interesting to know that a 500 in the world of swimming is not the longest event. If you have ever spent some time, watching Olympic swimming, they actually don't do the 500 in Olympics because it's an Olympic pool. It's a 50-yard pool. Excuse me, it's a 50-meter pool.
Yes.
This is a 25-yard pool. So an Olympic pool is twice as long. And you can't do a 500 and start and finish at the same end as... Anyway, that's not even correct as I really think about that mathematically. But you don't swim a 500. They have an 800, a 400, an 800, 1,000, and the mile. So a 500...
meter is still extensively longer than just a 500 yard.
Yes. And distance swimmers love it. They get in a rhythm. It was fun just this past summer watching some of the distance events in the Olympics, and the split times were so incredibly consistent. Distance swimmers are consistent. Always have a push at the beginning and a final push at the end to get home. Nadeau is at 17.
Yep, he will most likely finish first here.
Teammates are gathered at the end encouraging. If you see down at the far end, his teammate has I'm a little confused if he really is done with his race. No, I think the official, usually at the last turn before the last 50, the official will ring a bell over the top of the lane of the swimmer who is in first place. And the official missed that chance. And so, yes, Nadeau just finished in his right around 6:10. Nicely done. His teammates have a few lengths left.
Yep.
So if you saw at the far end when there's not a number 19, it's all red, meaning you have one length left.
Yosin getting his final lap as he flips over.
And Fredericks in lane 5 is approaching his last turn for home.
Yosin finishing with a time of about, looks like looking at posted soon, 7 minutes 49.
Fredericks will probably be right around 8 minutes. Maybe not quite.
7:22 it looks like, so.
Oh, okay. So maybe a 7:40, 7:30.
Yeah.
Your time, please. Please come up to the desk with your time. Lane
7:33.
7:22, 7:33. And looks like we have a little timing issue, and then we'll get started with the varsity 500. Looks like we have we only have 5 swimmers for varsity tonight.
Yep, 2 Hastings Raiders and 3 from Two Rivers.
Looks like we're making sure the timing and the officials are getting ready to start this event. 5 swimmers. George Altier from Two Rivers in lane 1. Tristan Herbst, Hastings in lane 2. Finn Gustafson from Two Rivers in lane 3. Caleb Urban from Hastings in lane 4. And Jack Dolliger. I'll go with the first way I said it. From Two Rivers in lane 5. Tristan and Caleb for Hastings, they both love this event. Some people think they're crazy. And they're off. Nice and even coming into the first turn.
Urban getting that one. Herbst and Gustafson pretty much neck and neck. Well, pretty much everyone except
Everyone. Caleb has a split of a 26-18. Everyone is sticking together. It's a fun race. You might wonder why Urban's teammate is not showing his cards right now. I happen to know this.
Yeah, I would think so.
Caleb is our son, which is really fun. And a couple weeks ago, he was swimming against a great 500 swimmer at North St. Paul, Jonathan Peabody. And Jonathan told him after the race that one of the strategies he's used recently is to ask his teammate to not show him his cards until he is at 13 or 14 lengths, so that he wasn't focused on what length he was focused on just swimming. And Caleb, he didn't tell me this, but he obviously decided to do that, and so his teammate John Destros is not showing those cards, which it'll be interesting to see. So much of swimming is mental, so much is strategy. Caleb has swam this event many, many times, as everyone else in this pool has. Tristan, they're flipping second, followed by Gustafson.
And it looks like, yep.
And a close race, Altier and
Dolliger.
Caleb's holding at a 29 split. The cards, one interesting fact about the cards at the end of the pool is also a way for coaches to communicate with their swimmer. Sometimes you'll see that they turn the numbers upside down on purpose. Most of the communication would be go faster. But sometimes, it could be
pace yourself a little bit in the middle,
yourself,
I would expect.
Or lengthen out your arms, or just a wake-up call of, hey, keep kicking, keep moving.
It looks like Coach Katie was giving that sign over to Tristan, just of waving the arms a little more.
Yes. Caleb is just over halfway.
Yep, Coach Katie on the side pretty much trying to give any signal she can to both Tristan and Caleb right now, while Brianna and Jerry just discuss, keep track of times.
Swimmers can kind of see on the side, because the side of the pool is up a little bit, so swimmers can see teammates. They cannot hear. I've been reminded by multiple people that my child cannot hear me as I cheer quite loudly.
Yeah.
But coaches sometimes have very unique sounds that they do use as a way of communicating. So we'll see. This race continues to unfold. Tristan Herbst in lane 2 has quite a commanding second place lead over Gustafson and Altier and Dolliger.
Urban finally getting his first
glance
sign
at
in the
where
water.
he is.
Herbst's not too far behind.
He is not. Tristan is a great distance swimmer and has a lot of drive and a lot of heart, and he's a very hard worker, as all these swimmers are. I will never doubt the dedication of a swimmer.
Three more laps to go for Urban. Herbst almost approaching that number as well.
A distance favors swimmers' favorite noise over above their head is the cowbell.
And Urban getting that cowbell here for the varsity. He sees his red cards.
He does see his red cards, and he is kicking up as much as he can, passing a few.
And there he is, finishing in first.
He did get first on that, waiting for his time.
Herbst almost ready to finish his final lap here as well.
4:52. Well, is that his time? No, 4:53.
6 seconds short of that pool record set by Jack Van Zee back in 2016. You think Caleb will be trying to reach that goal once he's a
He
senior?
will.
All right.
He would really love that as well.
Herbst finishing in second. Gustafson in third. Sorry.
If I'm not mistaken, a 4:53 and a 5:06 are season bests, at least, for, I'm guessing Tristan a 5:06 is a personal best. As his mom, I should know this, but I don't, at a 4:53. And all sub 6 minutes, 5:30. Nice. A very close race in lane 1 and lane 5, 5:30.80 and 5:30.84. That was really, really
Altier and
close.
Gallagher practically finishing at the same time. Just those split milliseconds.
Nicely done, 500 swimmers, and we will move on to the 200-yard freestyle relay. 4 swimmers, each swimming a 50 freestyle.
So the 200-yard junior varsity freestyle. Both just Two River teams. It'll be a fairly quick one for both these next varsity and junior varsity.
Oh, and it was a fancy dive!
Huh.
So swimming JV tonight, we have Max Frisch. To be honest, this is called a diver's relay. So all the divers for Two Rivers are swimming the 50 freestyle.
That they are.
And it appears as none of them have goggles, which is just fine. It's a 50. So Max did a flip as he entered the water.
Making up for his...
Oh!
And a belly flap in
and
there.
A belly flap on purpose from Aiden Dolan.
Two Rivers divers definitely give it
So
some
let's
entertainment in the junior varsity relay here.
We'll give a little love to our swimmers in lane 5 who are also swimming this relay. This is Jackson McKenzie, the second swimmer for Two Rivers. I'm interested in seeing how Shakti Gurung goes off this block for his turn at the 50.
And another belly flop. And Zach Lau is the final reeler in lane 3, so we can only imagine what impressive flip he's going to make into the pool.
I believe that they will not be disqualified because this is the freestyle, and they did enter. Now, in a relay, we haven't talked about a relay. We haven't talked about a relay that the timing of the exchanges is crucial. The rules of swimming that the diver touching the wall has to touch before the feet of another
belly flop. Yep.
Before the feet of the next swimmer leaves the blocks. So they're not going to get disqualified for doing a belly flop. They might if they, had an exchange issue.
Right. I think doing the belly flop and having the opening relay or do a dive makes the most sense in terms of not having that problem, but still.
Absolutely. And if you want to just make the officials smile, that's one way to do it.
Well, the relay team in lane number 3, a whole bunch of divers for Two Rivers, definitely provided some entertainment all around here at the pool for this event. Everyone getting a smile from those. As Jacob Teagan finishes up this relay here in lane number 5. We'll switch back over to the varsity 200-yard freestyle relay.
I'm thinking we will not have any purposeful belly flops.
I don't think so. I think they did that intentionally in JV just to, again, provide us all a little entertainment and fun for everyone.
And by the way, they were absolutely fantastic at that. So we will move on to the varsity relay. Again, this is the 200 freestyle relay. Each swimmer of the 4 swims at 50 as fast as they can. The exchanges at the end, the exchanges between the swimmers is really crucial. Obviously, there's not a baton, but they touch the wall and their toes leave, so the timing is crucial. So in lane 1, we have Charlie Cook, Brandon Hansen, Peter Maslow, and Thomas Nielsen for Two Rivers. In lane 2, for Hastings, Charlie Jensen, Garrett Watterson, Kenrick O'Donnell, and Nathan Barker. Two Rivers in lane 3, Carl Strohofer, Jack Dolger.
Dolger.
Sorry, Corey Jack, George Altier, and Finn Gustafson. In lane 4 for Hastings, Thomas Foss, Oliver Gergen, Taylor Schmaltz, and Tristan Herbst. And in lane 5 for Two Rivers is Harrison Berg, Jackson Cook, Daniel Klus, and Nathan Friesch. That order is a little different than I said. This is Thomas Foss in the water now, so they must have put Oliver Gergen first.
Yes, looks like they did, and Gallagher leading right now
He
in this
is.
lane, and
Taylor
Foss trying to
Schmaltz
catch up.
will try to catch. Thomas is inching his way. It's anybody's race for first at this point.
Between lanes 3 and 4.
George Altier and Taylor Schmaltz in the water now.
Schmaltz is just hustling down as best as he
He
can,
is.
just trying to get
A
that
50
lead.
is hard to catch someone.
Definitely
And a nice race in between third and fourth. This is Daniel Klus and Kenrick O'Donnell. And in the water for the last swimmer for Two Rivers is Finn Gustafson. Yes, he just swam the 500. And Tristan Herbst for Hastings. And yes, he just swam the 500. Sometimes distance swimmers have their best sprint right after their distance swim. Nicely done by the 4 gentlemen from Two Rivers. Hastings coming in second. Two Rivers third in lane 5.
Kind of
And a
tight
race.
finish here.
Yes, it is.
Lanes 1 and 2. Looks like Nielsen will beat out Barker.
Yep. Winning time of 1:36.62. And we will move on to the 100-yard backstroke.
Effective event 20, this is our 100-yard backstroke. This is our varsity heat. For Two Rivers.
Just getting a shot there of the pool record that was previously held by some kid from Mounds View, who's probably an adult now, Lucas Mounds View, back in 2013 for that 100-yard butterfly, which Philip Jensen here set a new record at 51:37.
I do know that he would also like a pool record in the 100 backstroke. Philip is a master at the butterfly and the backstroke. So in this 100-yard backstroke tonight in lane 1 is Lucas Nadeau. In lane 2 for Hastings is Obi Haveman. In lane 3 for Two Rivers is Brandon Hansen. In lane 4, senior Philip Jensen. In lane 5 is Jackson Cook for Two Rivers. And in lane 6, Tyler Wood for Hastings. So the announcer is making a big deal, as he should, that Obi Haveman and Philip Jensen are swimming their last individual event as seniors in this pool tonight. Both of them have had long, successful careers as Hastings Raider swimmers.
And Jensen, of course, going to continue his swimming career at St. Thomas next year.
What you're going to see tonight in this backstroke is Philip at his finest most of the time as he begins is his underwaters. Like his best part of this race is his underwaters. And as he comes up halfway through the pool and starts spinning his arms, he has open water already between his competitors.
It looked like he took the most amount of time he could to be underwater.
He is using his underwaters to his advantage.
And
There
makes
is
another turn.
Another turn. His teammates know that he is gunning for that record.
59:41 from 2007, but set by Phil Selesky.
That is a long-standing school record and pool record.
And we'll find out here. It looks like Jensen's going to do it.
He very well
And he
could.
does. As the team knows very well, Jensen setting
Wow.
2 pool records for the Hastings Raiders
records.
in his final night here at
As a
Hastings
senior,
Middle School.
51:86.
He eclipses that one by
Philip.
8 seconds.
Philip has worked. It's not by 8 seconds. You're looking at the 100 breaststroke, but that's okay.
That's all right.
He is by 1 second, which is a feat in and of itself.
Thanks for correcting me.
That's okay.
I was a little ahead of myself.
That's okay. That record has been for the pool since 1999.
So that record's pretty much as old as I am.
Right. Which is really young, but really old.
When you think about it from the high school. Yep. Very impressive night
fun
for Philip Jensen.
He has been working at that since he began swimming as a little kiddo. Nicely done. He just needs one more for a hat trick. If there's a hat trick in swimming, I've never heard of such a thing, but I just made it up.
Good.
And we move on to the 100-yard breaststroke. Again, we do not have a varsity or a JV heat of this. It's the varsity heat. 6 swimmers. In lane 1, we have Nathan Friesch. In lane for Two Rivers. In lane 2, Oliver Gergen for Hastings. In lane 3, Peter Maslow for Two Rivers. In lane 4, Caleb Urban for Hastings. In lane 5, Toby Kopp for Two Rivers. And in lane 6, Isaac Schulk for Hastings. I will tell you that it's kind of fun that Philip's success tonight has certainly fired up everyone in this pool, not just Hastings. I think everyone realizes what a fun thing that is to achieve those 2 records. So
it's always impressive to get 1 record in a night, but to get 2 is just another feat altogether. The
100 breaststroke is off. 100 breaststroke, a breaststroke sprint. An important thing to know about the breaststroke is you cannot panic. There is nothing about this stroke that lets you panic as a swimmer. Because if you panic and you tense, you actually go slower. So the breaststroke is probably the most challenging stroke to put together timing-wise and to really be an efficient swimmer at. It takes, the pull, breathe, kick, glide is very challenging to get right.
And Urban's just flying ahead of everyone else here.
He does enjoy the breaststroke. Oliver Gergen in lane 2 is doing a great job and
leading everyone else.
So is Nathan Friesch and Peter Maslow and Toby Kopp and Isaac Schulk in lane 6. Come on. I'm not supposed to be cheering. I know what his goals are.
Yes.
So excuse me as I mom for a moment. Oliver Gergen hitting the wall second.
Looks like lanes 1 and 3, just a little bit of time separation there between Frisch and Maslow. Schulk,
nicely done. Now, if Caleb had swam 8 seconds faster,
if
that
would be
a new pool record.
And school.
And we will finish up tonight with a 400-yard freestyle relay. 6 lengths or 6 lanes of swimmers, 3 each. So this 400 freestyle relay, every swimmer swims 4 lengths of freestyle. It looks like officials are conferring about something.
Yep.
At this time, it comes down often in the meet. This is kind of this is the last event. So if in a really tight meet, this meet can determine who wins the meet.
Yep. This last relay.
From what I've seen tonight, I don't believe this is as close as meets sometimes are coming down to this final event, but we'll see.
Yeah, they don't have any scores up there for us to look at to have
Which
an idea
sometimes
right
are
now.
not accurate, so we'll...
Right. Pretty much just wait until PA announcer Gergen lets it out after this one.
Well, it looks like the officials are walking, or the one official at least is walking to the side of the pool where he belongs.
Yep. Head coach Jerry Rupp looks like he's talking to Adam Dewar there.
Given final instructions for this race. Gentlemen are up on the blocks, ready for the starters. So for Two Rivers in lane 1, we have Brandon Hansen, Jimmy Fredericks, Charlie Cook, and Lucas Nadeau. In lane 2 for Hastings, John Destros, Isaac Schulk, Nathan Barker, and Philip Jensen. In lane 3 for Two Rivers is Carl Strohhofer, Jack Dolliger, George Altier, and Finn Gustafson. In lane 4 for Hastings, Adam Dewar, Obi Haveman, Tyler Wood, and Caleb Urban. In lane 5 for Two Rivers, Thomas Nielsen, Toby Kopp, Daniel Kloos, and Harrison Berg. And in lane 6 for Hastings, Taylor Schmaltz, Thomas Foss, Garrett Watterson, and Tristan Herbst. Lane 2 right now is leading with John Destros, followed by Adam Dewar and Carl Strohhofer.
Yep, just seconds away from all three of each other.
And here in lane 6, Thomas Foss as a second swimmer for Hastings is not far behind. Isaac Schulk, second swimmer for Hastings in lane 2. Jack is just getting ahead of him in lane 3.
Collier trying to get a lead here for Two Rivers. He's the first to go up and make his turn.
We'll see as they come to the third turn here how close this race is. Isaac trying to hang on to Jack there. The third swimmer is getting up on the blocks, ready for the exchange. Thomas Foss is swimming really well in lane 6. And he has pretty much caught his teammate in lane 2.
So Warriors taking a lead with Altier in lane 3 now.
Yep. As he comes to the wall, I've got to say it once every meet, his butt is up first as he flips. That's the way to tell.
Yep.
He has quite a commanding lead, nearly 25 yards on the two Hastings teams.
Yep, it looks like lane 3 might be taking this one for the Warriors, at least in first. So for the Raiders in 2 and 4.
Finn Gustafson, distance swimmer in the 500. Didn't get much of a break and is back in for the 400 free relay.
And as the final two swimmers are about to enter the pool here for the Raiders in lanes 2 and 4. Urban's in first,
and
Jensen in second.
And a clinic by Jensen in his underwaters in the pool nearly has caught Urban in 25 yards.
And will get ahead of him, or right next to each other. And I'm sure your son won't have much of a problem, given this is pretty much Jensen's night. Setting 2 records. And
it is hard to swim 3 events at the back half of a swim meet.
Yes.
Congratulations to the Warriors in lane 3. A great swim, finishing first. And actually, lane 6 for Hastings is going to be second.
So Herbst is going to finish there.
They snuck. There was, as sometimes swimmers say, there was smoke on an outside lane.
And that there was on this
There
one.
was on that.
And so we're in lane number 1.
Lucas Nadal is finishing up his 100-yard freestyle leg of the relay. And that does, in fact, conclude our swim meet tonight. As I walked in tonight and looked over at these two teams, I knew we were in for a great swim meet. And I'm going to tell you, I think we were successful in having a great swim meet.
2 new pool records set by Philip Jensen.
Absolutely.
A quite impressive display of diving. Zach Lau. It was
a great night
performances for teams, well, relay teams and individuals all around. So
a couple personal bests by a number of swimmers, at least for Hastings, and I obviously don't know about Two Rivers, but I'm thinking there was.
And the Raiders take home this meet, 100-84 over the Warriors.
100-84. I'm going to give kudos to both teams for displaying great sportsmanship and encouragement of each other as on their own teams and each other, kind of on opposing teams.
Great meet all around here.
Huge kudos goes to HCTV.
Well, thank you for that.
For being here. I'm happy to join, but mostly as a parent, I'm thrilled that, and a community member, you guys are here.
Yeah. Well, you're always welcome back on the broadcast, especially for swimming, and we appreciate you. So we'll wrap it up here, and special thanks to Hunter Pinkey, Max Slocum, Ian Andersek, Theo Tollefson, and Julie Urban for this broadcast. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next time.